AI has completely changed the game inside Amazon KDP. However, most people don't know how to fully optimize it in order to help them fully inside Amazon KDP. So in this video, I'm going to show you how I do it personally and how it runs pretty much 90% of my business. Now, in terms of the beginning creation of the book and how I use it, in terms of my customer research and my book outline, BookBeam now has a new AI feature that literally does both of these things for me. And so for this part, I'll have BookBeam do that and kind of create a solid base, about 90% of, what I'm going to use. And then if I need to like clarify anything or, basically just touch up some things, I'll go to ChatGPT, copy paste it in there and ask it for some ideas and obviously fix it up myself as well. You want to check these, yourself and use it in a way where AI helps you and just doesn't just do the whole thing. So that's kind of how I roll with this beginning part of it all. Now, in terms of the writing, now I have a pretty solid base, of what AI has, helped me with. Then I'll use that for this part in order to create the project. Now, in terms of using AI for writing itself, it really depends on the project, how difficult it is, things like that. In most cases, for me personally, I don't use AI for writing. I don't trust it fully. And on top of that, I usually head down more complicated niches. So it can be more difficult for it to try and, tackle those projects. Now, if you're low on budget, you can use this to create a very solid base and then, fix up the writing yourself and add more words, or you can get a professional come in. So, how I would look at it is get this done yourself or have someone else do it like a virtual assistant. Make up like 60, 70, 80% of it, of what you want in each chapter, and basically just get most of the work done. Then what I would do is hire a professional in the field to basically add in another 2,000, 5,000, 10,000 words, however long your project is, and work around what you currently have. It's really going to keep your costs down and you'll have a pretty solid base with AI. But this still takes work on your end to be able to like form it all together, make sure nothing is repeated, and it's actually still a solid book, something that your writer can still work with, of course. So that's an option. I still don't think it's a good idea to just copy and paste, AI content. I would use a software like Quillbot to reword things and have it so it's, AI undetectable, and, also just have your ghostwriter tell them to change things up. Don't copy word for word, mix it up. Now, with your easy medium content books or your easier topic long form books, the bulk of the writing can easily be done. But as I said before, if you've got a more difficult project like, I don't know, how to play the guitar or something like that, it's going to be very difficult for AI to help you, congruently in terms of the writing. So just keep that in mind. Obviously, it just comes down to common sense with this kind of stuff. But that's how I kind of roll with it. With my titles and my description. Now, with the titles, I'll play with ChatGPT in helping me create a catchy title. Like, it usually does a really good job at this. I'll give it a base of, what I want, kind of like a sample. I'll throw my main keywords in there, and then I'll basically just say, hey, give me some examples of a catchy title, use creative writing, use copywriting, these types of things. And eventually it spits out some pretty good ideas, and then I just form my own idea through that. Obviously, you want to have your keywords involved. You want it to flow well. You don't want it to be too long. So once again, get ChatGPT to do the bulk of it, come up with some really cool ideas, and then use your own brain to be able to form that together and create a good title. Also keep in mind, you can send your competition's titles to ChatGPT. Ask it for something better. Ask it how you can separate yourself from these guys. It's unlimited what you ask ChatGPT. The more information you give it, the better results you're going to get in terms of what it gives you. Now, in terms of my descriptions, I'm now running them through BookBeam. It has a pretty solid AI feature for this, and it just makes a solid base there. I play with it further on ChatGPT, and then I fix it up myself, from what's needed from there. So once again, ChatGPT AI itself is creating 70-80% of what I need, and then I come in and fix it up to how I know I want it. And that's kind of how most of this runs for me. I don't use ChatGPT and AI like 100%. I use it to basically just hold my hand and do the bulk of the lifting, get really good ideas, get really good base, and then I come in and fix it up from there. Now, in terms of your covers, you can tell ChatGPT your situation, what you want your cover to look like, ask it to give you, and basically you can just ask it to give you examples of how you can illustrate a good cover. You don't have to ask it for images, but you can ask it for ideas. Depending on what your book is, let's just say it's how to play guitar for kids. Tell ChatGPT, I've got a book, it's how to play, guitar for kids. Give me a cool creative idea of, how I could make this cover stand out. And, it might come up with some cool little thing with, a fucking, I don't know, an animal with a guitar and doing some sort of action. I don't know, but it's going to probably come up with some cool ideas that you can send to your designer. Take those ideas, and even if you want, you can put those ideas into DALL-E or Midjourney, and get it to create something, an actual image, a book cover. These covers won't be that great, but you never know, you might get some pretty cool examples that you're going to be able to send to your designer, just for, a little base, just for a way to help them kind of see where you're at in terms of what you want. This doesn't always work. This one's hit and miss, but it's something you can try. At the end of the day, it depends on the information you give it and how many questions you ask these AI softwares. Now, with illustrations and images, this is probably the main one where it can do quite a lot and helps me quite a lot as well in terms of ideas. But this one also just depends on the project. Now, personally, I use Midjourney for a lot of this. However, at the moment, it's very hard to have consistency through the illustrations. Usually what you want your image to look like, it's just not going to look like it's from the same person if you have multiple images, especially when it comes to illustrations. So when it comes to like black line art illustrations and things like that, I still have designers that, I go to for that. ChatGPT, AI, these softwares, they just can't do this work. But I do use it for a base, some samples to show my designer sometimes as well. So keep that in mind. Now, for images, it's actually a lot better. So if you want to add in, colored images, you can use Midjourney to create some pretty realistic photos that look really good. So, that's an idea. You've obviously got your royalty-free image sites, your copyright-free image sites that you can use. However, it's honestly cheaper to use Midjourney for this. It creates some really good images. Basically, from there, what you can also do, and I do this a lot, is just copy a part of your text that you want illustrated or that you want an image of, and put that into Midjourney and ask it to send you an image of this thing, and it's going to spit out some really cool ideas. Even some examples, like let's just say you've got a coloring book and it's like a coloring book for kids that's unicorns. Well, what you can do is you can basically ask ChatGPT, hey, I want 10 coloring pages of a unicorn, give me 10 scenes of what I can tell my designer to create. You can ask questions like that are going to help you a lot in terms of actually just creating the illustration and helping your designer. Or if you need specific images, again, you can just copy and paste that text of what you want to be an image, or just the image that you want in general, and it's going to spit out some pretty good things through Midjourney. Midjourney does cost money. However, I think it's completely worth it to do it. Now, in terms of other things, basically, I ask ChatGPT everything pretty much. It helps me with almost everything. Give it your ideas and ask it, for better ideas. That's all you need to do. You're going to have your approach and what you think's best and your ideas and how you're going to make this book really good. If you throw those ideas into ChatGPT, it's going to give you more, and eventually you end up creating a really good book. Now, even for keywords for ads, you can use ChatGPT, or ideas of what you should put on the back of your paperback cover. You can ask it for ideas of the name of your series, what that should be. Give it your titles, say, hey, give me a good catchy series. The options are endless of what you can use AI for. So pretty much you just use it for everything. The ideas that basically the creativity that this fucking AI can do is insane, and it's really just boosted the quality of all my books. So use it for everything, and you'll notice that the quality of your book's just going to be so much better than what you would have originally been able to create yourself. Now, overall, I don't use AI 100%. I use it to help me create the bulk of the things or the base, and then I have people that come through and make those ideas work, basically. And that's how you should treat AI. Don't be that guy that's just using it 100% and that's it, and not changing things up, because it can be obvious that it is AI sometimes. Even with the images, make sure they don't look super fake. Make sure they look real. If they don't look real or something looks off in any of your content, I would stay away from it, because people can tell pretty easily. And not only that, over time, people are going to get more and more, knowledgeable about whether it's AI or not. So try and make your projects as best as possible to look natural. Now, as I said before, all of this AI stuff depends on the projects. Some of them you can do pretty much 100% of it, and others it's just going to be able to help you create that base and hold your hand, in the process. So keep that in mind. And then the last thing, and this is the most important thing of all, the use of AI and how good it is for your business solely depends on the questions that you ask it. And you just actually remembering to ask it, for every single step, this is going to help you. So remember to use it for all the steps. Even if you think you have a good idea, ask ChatGPT for better ideas, or tell it your idea and see if it confirms, or see if it can even add in some touches to that. Honestly, the options are endless of how much you can use it. So you may as well just get it done and ask the questions. It spits it out in seconds. So, that's kind of how I roll with it, and my mindset towards all of this overall does help me a lot. And one thing to note as well is, if you are outsourcing, this business eventually, and you're going to hire an assistant, the training is so much easier now. You don't have to train your assistant, how to create a description, how to create titles, how to create all this stuff, because ChatGPT is just going to do everything for them. How to make an outline. ChatGPT and AI softwares are going to do the bulk of everything. So this means that you can actually outsource this business, hire an assistant for a lot cheaper. The work that they're going to do is it's not going to take as much time, and they don't need to be as, skilled in some of these areas. So basically, my point is, if you haven't outsourced yet and you are looking to hire an assistant, I'll do it sooner than later, because it's cheaper to do. It's just going to help you create more books and obviously succeed quicker in the business. So that wraps up everything that I want to say. If you have any questions, guys, obviously hit me up. If you have any ideas about how you use AI and how it helps you that I haven't covered today, let me know in the comments, so I can see that, and everyone else can see that as well. But thanks for watching the video, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.